right, we are live. Doesn't that make it feel like official, Maciek? What do you think? Like a
It
countdown and
does, it
animations and
does.
stuff.
Yeah, everything. And the music was really cool, so we're already getting the
We're
vibe.
now officially at like a real company's live stream. That's what it feels like when we have like these little things. And, anyways, today we're talking WordPress, which I haven't used since 2012, which is a
A lot
long
of
time
time.
ago.
A lot,
But
yeah.
is that correct though? Did exist in 2012, right? Like it existed way
Yeah,
before,
I
I think.
mean, I have a T-shirt that I got that was released on WordPress 15th anniversary, and it was a few years ago.
Oh man, I must have then used it. Probably started using it in like 2008 or something.
Yeah, and think about that. The Joomla and Drupal are even older.
Oh yeah, and it's kind of funny because every developer has once built a CMS, and I remember using
Me too. Me
the
too.
look of WordPress in my own CMS. And then you showed me the other day some of WordPress, and it still looks the same. It's like, no, this is mind-boggling. Anyways,
I
without
mean,
me going
if we
further.
would wait like half a year, you would have the fresh new interface because it's kind of in progress.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah. It will
Good.
be more snazzy, flashy, and everything.
Snazzy. I cannot wait. But before we dive in, tell us your name, how you say it like properly, not how I say it. And then also, what do you do and why are you here?
Okay, so my name is Maciek Palmowski, but for some reason, every Starbucks prefer to call me Magic. But it's
Oh,
nice,
yeah, it
you
makes
know.
sense.
Yeah, it's really great. And on the other hand, I have this friend of mine called Frek, and sadly at Starbucks he has a bit sadder
Very
story.
different.
Yeah, and I work at a company called Patchstack as a security community manager. Yeah, I
Wow,
always have problems remembering all those long titles. I always
exactly.
prefer to say, yeah, I work as a DevRel at Patchstack. Or,
So you
uh,
basically work as a DevRel, but then in the world of WordPress, right?
I would even say in the world of WordPress security. So it's
Ah, yes,
even, yes,
slightly focused.
slightly focused, but it's what can I say? It's a very interesting branch. I mean, I knew that it can be scary from time to time,
Okay.
uh, but it's really exciting. It's really exciting learning. I mean, I consider myself as a, let's call it, a good enough developer. I mean, I was a developer for
I think for years, right?
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
So, like I
exactly.
said, quite a good developer. Yeah,
Well, you need to know your
but
stuff when you work in security, especially WordPress security, because
I mean, really learning from those people how they discover some of those vulnerabilities.
yeah,
It's
exactly. It must be
it's
great, right?
amazing. It's really amazing. It's like totally different way of thinking because as a developer, you always kind of think how to create stuff, and
Yes.
the researcher mindset. But it's the thing that I would say. Let's not treat it in a bad way, but it's kind of their mindset. It's kind of how to destroy some stuff, how to work around some stuff. So they like we go from beginning to the end, and they go the other way. So they first by using see where is a possible access point, and from
Yeah.
this they go to the beginning and to find is there some weak link along the way. I mean, it's truly remarkable to observe those people, to learn.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really realized that yeah, I'm only good enough developer. I mean, there are so amazing people. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think because WordPress is one of the most used systems on the planet, I think it's also the most hacked one, right?
I mean,
Maybe because
yeah,
of that, because there's just so many lying around.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
WordPress has, and it kind of depends on the methodology, but we are talking about 40-50% of the market.
Oh man, that's
So,
insane.
and on the other hand, we are talking about the solution that is considered as a simple one.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
if we connect, first of all, the scale, on the other hand, the fact that many people who don't know a thing about web development, about security, are
Mhm.
able to create their websites, Yeah, this is a bit of a recipe for quite a few disasters. Also, WordPress is really amazing, and again, this is a pro and a con at the same time because it's really easy to start not only as a user but also as a developer. I
Yeah,
mean, you just open one file, add a few lines of code, and voila, it works.
exactly.
On the other hand, it's horrible because you just open WordPress, paste lines from Stack Overflow that you don't understand, and voila, it exists on your website, and you're not.
Yeah, copy paste, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, because WordPress did such an amazing job of being that friendly, that for everyone, this also created this problem that we are currently fighting. I mean, at PatchTech we have this big bounty program where
Oh, really?
researchers
Interesting.
can find vulnerabilities and yeah, it's this whole leaderboard. Everyone is competing
Oh,
with each
yeah.
other. It's really fun, but I mean, yeah, it's quite funny because on one hand it's kind of like a game, right? Because yeah, there's a leaderboard. They are kind of
Yeah, but bug
gaining
hunting
experience.
programs, they're always fun like that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, underneath we have those millions of websites that can be
Yes.
affected by a problem. So, but still, I think that WordPress. I mean, let's remember WordPress core as core, so just the CMS, not the themes, not the plugins, is
Yeah.
very secure. We are talking, if I remember, there were found 13 vulnerabilities during the last year, and they weren't severe at all. There were some
Okay.
minor issues. So it wasn't a problem. While when we look at the rest, if I remember, it's like 80% it's generated by plugins.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, this is actually a good bridge because we talk to a lot of prospects here at Hygraph about they have like this pretty big WordPress thing sitting there, and they have two things, or they just want to go away from it because it kind of drags them down due to whatever reasons, and they want to go to something new. Maybe it's the plugins, whatever security, extra work. But others are actually like, we kind of love it, but we want to modernize our front end, and our theme is dragging us down. So let's go and do other things with Hygraph, for example. And so maybe that's the goal of this stream, is to kind of figure out how can WordPress and a headless CMS in this case maybe Hygraph work together well, because we're not here saying, hey, WordPress kind of sucks. Like, why would you even say that if like 40% of the internet is running on it? It clearly
Yeah,
works.
exactly.
It might have its drawbacks due to its design and whatever, but people overcame. But lots of folks are also looking at, hey, what is now a new way to use this system? Does it have an API? Does it have GraphQL? Can I do any front that I want? Maybe I don't want themes at all. So could you maybe explain, just because I'm sure not all viewers know WordPress as well as you, give us the basics of how WordPress is intended to be used, and also kind of what are the things to extend it, what are the things that are not so good about it, of why you might potentially want to like involve another composable architecture thing. Sorry, long
Okay,
question, but here we go.
yeah. So first of all, WordPress is a PHP/MySQL or MariaDB based CMS.
Mhm.
We are currently having also an add-on, and I know there are some works towards also adding SQLite
Okay,
as
just
a
like a file
yeah. So
database, basically, simple.
exactly.
Yeah.
But overall, SQL is the way to go, and WordPress is, let's kind of call it, very backward compatible. I mean,
Okay.
the 6.5 version still can run on PHP 7.0. PHP
Which is
7.0,
already pretty old, right?
it is very old. I don't remember how much, but it's, and I mean, both 7.0 and 7.1 are already end of life since few years. And
So
the
this
whole,
means backward compatibility is a big thing, I guess.
yes, I mean, I would even say it's kind of a too big thing, because it also kind of is it's kind of a problem for many developers, especially those who want to contribute to core. because they feel, okay, but there are so many new stuff in PHP 8.2, 8.3. Can I use them?
Nope.
Sorry, no. No. Yeah. But we know, those things are amazing, but sorry, no. You can do them in your plugin or something because you can mention that it will work from PHP, I don't know, 8.0.
Oh yeah, so when your server has like a certain PHP level, you can, I can install this plugin now. Like this makes me think about the good old days where I had to host a server to do something with a CMS. I'm so happy I work at the Headless CMS now because it's just in the cloud and I don't have to care. But some people want that, right?
Someone is doing it for you, just like this.
Oh yeah, I know. All of our like engineers, we talk about this stuff. They do that stuff every day, and they're talking about, oh crap, we have to add a bit more memory to this box and blah blah blah. They know. I just don't because I'm a user. That's true.
That's why there is kind of this branch of WordPress hosting called managed WordPress hosting. So
exactly, in theory, managed hosting. There we go.
Yeah, in theory, you also should not care, but yeah, it is as it is. Sometimes it's more of a buzzword. But going forward, some time ago already, WordPress introduced this new editor. Code name Gutenberg. Now it should be officially called the block editor, but Gutenberg is such a cool name that everyone is still calling it Gutenberg.
This I've heard. I've just not seen it. So what does that do exactly? How is that different from? Because I remember it was just a form with a post.
Yeah, it was Tiny MCA. Tiny MCA. If
I remember this. Yeah, rich text, Tiny MCA.
Exactly. And at some point. The core team decided that it's kind of time for a change because everyone was introducing kind of this block-based content editing. And
can you just share your screen to show a bit of that?
Oh yeah, of course. So let me just share my screen.
Content blocks sounds a lot like how a lot of CMSs do their data modeling.
Okay, so you should see it, and let me just even open first.
Man, so this is new because the previous
this is Gutenberg.
I was like, this is like, okay, so this is, so this is basically a rich text editor.
What? You can move the blocks around, like in Notion.
Exactly. So
apart from this is, let me add something new. So I can either write something, or I can add a new block.
But this does not look like your website, though. This is just something they build, like this is the Gutenberg look.
Yes and no, because let's just let me update. Yes, and let me sorry, it will be here.
There we go. So it's very, very similar.
It is. I mean, this is the cool part that you can add. You can have two stylings, one for the front end and one for the back end, which is quite cool because sometimes you would prefer that your backend styling, because of the general flow that is happening here, would be a bit different. And this is also a great thing when we look at this from the headless perspective, because I know that many, especially when we are using our CMS to power a lot of pages at once. So we have one point for data, and this powers a lot of pages. So the previews wouldn't be that easy to show. And thanks to this, you can kind of create this quite universal style, so people will more or less understand what they are creating.
This is important in CMSs. Like that's where there's always this how do you almost say this? Sometimes it's super abstract and you need that because you're data modeling, but sometimes you really need to see what you're doing and that's what this is closer to, I think.
Yeah, and here you see I can also
and so this
figure some stuff.
As a developer, do you put this in, or just does the system come with this?
This the things that I showed are the core blocks. So this is everything you get out of the box, but of course you can either install some plugins that will add more blocks, or you can create your own. So and there are even plugins that kind of help you with creating those blocks. For example, advanced custom fields. It kind of helps you to create it with more of a PHP approach, because Gutenberg
Yeah.
is built with React. So
Oh wow! So this is React. So this is not like
yes, this is no, this is
interesting.
React, and this is kind of a problem from when we look at the fact that WordPress is still PHP based. It was built by
Yeah,
developers who are working with PHP, and at
exactly.
some point, in general, this shift is a bit painful for some of the developers, me included. So yeah, luckily some smart people decided to create some plugins that kind of help you and still allow you to build blocks using
Yeah.
PHP, and they are kind of converted in some way, so you can.
So how does it work on the front end? Do you need React on a
No,
website?
no, because everything is in general. There are two types of blocks. One are called static, and the
Yeah.
second one are called dynamic. And let me just check if it was. It's a code editor. Okay, great. So you can see how the blocks look like. So this is the HTML, and
Oh,
here is the additional data.
and so
And
this is like metadata stored per block or something.
Yeah, exactly. And this will be saved, like everything, into your into your database. There are also dynamic blocks that won't have this part.
Okay.
They will only have data, and they will get the template from PHP.
Oh, of course.
Which
You
is
as a developer make a little PHP file that gets applied to that metadata, and then you can just
exactly
run
because you
anything.
just get
Yeah, sure.
variables from this. Personally, I prefer the second approach, because
Yeah,
I see it as more flexible, and it just helps you to have data and the template totally separately. Here, hello, you have HTML stored in your database.
dude,
I mean,
this literally pains my eyes because
exactly.
why? Like, to be honest, like, of course, if this works, it works. There's nothing I can say. If it works, it works.
I mean,
But if you
I
look at
can
it
tell
as
you
an
why
idealist, it's really crazy.
it is, but it's all caused by the thing that I mentioned before, the backward compatibility thing.
Exactly. It needs
The
to fit in
moment
these tables. Exactly. Yeah.
And
So
the
wrong.
moment when Gutenberg was launched, I think that not everyone was sure it will entirely work. So I think it will.
Right.
They were ready for a scenario that at some point they will say, "Okay, it just doesn't work with us." Happens. So it would be a disaster to have all this weird data that just doesn't show up on the website. So
Exactly. Yeah.
they just decided to go this way, because they're one of the popular plugins right now. It's called the Classic Editor, which kind of turns off Gutenberg.
I love
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yes.
Just go back to web form, please. It just works.
Yes. And the thing is that those blocks will work because they are just HTML saved in the database.
Oh yeah. So you just grab that HTML, put it on the page, and it kind of just happens.
Exactly.
All right. So if you are an idealist and you've worked in headless systems, you look at this, it pains your eyes. On the other hand, it works incredibly well for content editors. And
for so many people.
exactly, I was going to say, I don't know any people with WordPress that are not successful with their setup. Or maybe, it's fine, but they wanted something else, but it's kind of still fine. And so let's make the bridge to what this stream is about. And we're 20 minutes in, so this is the perfect moment.
Yeah.
What if I have all that? I kind of want to see, let's make it let's say, how can we do this? Let's say I love my WordPress. I have 10 content editors. They're trained on this. Gutenberg is their life.
Exactly.
But I only want to keep my blog posts in there, for example. And then I have a whole bunch of other needs that I'm now starting to do with headless systems, like maybe my images come from Cloudinary, my other CMS data, or my super complicated modeling for my products or whatever comes from Hygraph, for example. How can we now grab this stuff and connect it up to, let's say, Hygraph?
Okay, so WordPress out of the box includes REST API.
Okay,
On
it
the
wasn't
other
the
hand,
case, right? It used to be a plugin, I think.
yeah, exactly. Because many new features start as they are called feature plugins. So they are
Yes.
officially developed, and at some point they just get merged in. I mean, Gutenberg is also a plugin, so you can either use the core version,
All right.
or there is a plugin version, which is like this. This is the future release that will be in core
Yes,
in next
sure.
version.
Sure.
So it's something like this. So we have the REST API, but we also have GraphQL as a plugin, of course, because it's WordPress. And there are two implementations of GraphQL in WordPress. First, we have the WP GraphQL by WP Engine. It's on the left.
And WP Engine is a separated company from WordPress, right?
Yes, WP Engine is a humongous hosting company that really, I think they are the biggest company when it comes to investing into headless.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, they are really doing a lot of amazing stuff here with maintaining this plugin. And on the other hand, there is also Gato GraphQL. It's like a
for the cuteness of this design, this is my choice already.
What's funny, I remember that before it became Gato GraphQL, it was called a bit differently, and it had a rat as a logo. So it evolved.
Yeah, that's funny.
It evolved. But yeah, Leonardo is doing a really amazing job here. But he's working on this on his own. So this is
wow, that's great. I can imagine this stuff is complicated because let's say I install some plugin for, let's say, my SEO stuff, the Yoast one, that adds a bunch of data to all my pages. How does that end up in my GraphQL?
And this sometimes becomes a problem.
I can imagine.
I mean, it will kind of depends on many things. If the plugin will use just the meta table that WordPress has, that's not a problem because it will be just visible inside from the from the GraphQL API.
Yeah,
but it's just data. Sometimes the data is transformed somewhere along the way before it hits the front end. And
of course,
so some plugins have official GraphQL integrations.
Oh, that's cool.
For example, the advanced custom fields that I mentioned, and we will be playing around with it in a second. And on the other hand, sometimes there are users who just decided, okay, I need this integration, so I will write it on my own. For example, Yoast SEO. It doesn't have the official GraphQL integration, but
you can just get another plugin. I guess.
Yes, you can have a plugin for a plugin. I mean, this is this great moment when we end up with a plugin for a plugin and for a plugin. Amazing, beautiful world.
Why don't you show us like the playground for your project so we can see?
Okay, so this is the website. So let's go back here, and of course, let's go to the plugins to show that I already installed the GraphQL. And I also have the advanced custom fields because we will play around with it in a moment. And for a moment, let's leave it as it is. So let's go to this GraphQL IDE. And let's open the query composer. Okay, so what do we want? We want to show all posts, right?
Yeah, let's go for all
posts.
So
the most simple part, let's just get, let's say, the
maybe just the title or something, name or exactly.
And let's get the content because this will get interesting.
Oh boy.
Okay, so.
Oh, I see HTML in output. Yeah.
Exactly. You see HTML as output. And let's.
It is what it is. It's fine.
Let's go back. Let's use the post by for a moment. So let's remove this one because I have this. I remember that it's slug 65.
Oh yeah, the ID 65. Sure.
Yeah, of course we can use the slug or anything else, but why? Because it's Gutenberg. Because the rest of all was just auto-generated, and there was just one.
So this is a Gutenberg page specifically. Okay, so let's have a look at this.
Did I? Oh, the quote is invalid. Oh, because it should be, sorry, it should be post ID if I remember. Run. Oh, and now without those, of course. Yes, now.
Oh, because it's an ID. Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. Oh, wow.
Okay, and now beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's just exploded in our faces.
Exactly. So now, if you would be this lucky front-end developer who has something like this, you will be probably deciding how
You're-
not to do this because it's
Yeah,
it's
you're
horrible.
dying a slow death when you see this,
Exactly.
essentially. Yeah.
But now the cool
assume
part.
you have a fix.
Of course.
Yes.
And there is a
All right,
plugin
kids,
for
pay
this.
attention.
There
This
is
is
a
how you
plugin
fix
for it. Yes, you install a new plugin.
Oh, you have
No,
to
but
install
seriously.
another plugin. I love it.
Again, WP Engine created this thing called WP GraphQL content block. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So let's activate it. And let me just go for a minute. Let me just zoom in
Thank you.
to GitHub. Yeah, so Chris is responsible for this. And what it does, it gives you this editor blocks.
All right.
And you can like get every part of each block.
So he basically just wrote a badass parser for HTML and this weird object notation.
Luckily, I mean, partially yes, but luckily there is a moment when everything is saved when this becomes an array.
Oh, really?
And this is the moment, yeah. And this is the moment you have to benefit. And also a cool part, there is also a similar plugin for REST API, so you can also have it separately.
Important.
Okay, so let's go back to our website. We have let's go back here. We have our let's run it again. Perfect. It's still like this, but we don't need content anymore because we will have. It was called the editor blocks.
He just added an extra property. Okay, cool.
Exactly. So if let's say let's see the name. Okay, and render HTML. So now we will see each of this block with its rendered HTML separately. You see?
Okay, so this is already clear. So you know what you're getting.
It's better. Cool. But on the other hand, you still have something like this in the image. So it's still not fun.
Yeah.
Because the thing that we would really love to have is, for example, to know the things about this image. So let's go a step further. And here you can see all those blocks that are defined. And we are looking for core image. We don't know anchor or this. We will need what we will need. Let's say.
Well, the URL, I guess.
Let's say file height width. Okay, so let's see. Much better.
Oh yeah, there we go. You just need a base URL still.
Exactly, but we can get it from somewhere in the settings or kind of. Or what else? We also, if we want to pass some classes or anything, also there are inner blocks because we can have block in a block. And this part, all those, if we have all the data,
information, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
So and because WordPress stores few, let me just remove the meta here. Because WordPress stores very often few sizes of an image, and if we would like to kind of use as it is, we can use something like this, and we will see all the variations. Yeah, yeah. Oh, source URLs. This is the good one. Oh, so here you have everything. Here you have everything. So this becomes bearable. We can.
Oh, this is totally workable. You just need to go into this playground a lot and find out all the fields and all the things. But once you have one query, you should be fine.
Exactly, because it's probably when you'll do it once, it will be okay.
Yeah,
probably
and then
you will
if
just
you make
have
your
to.
own. How does this work? Let's say you make a custom block. Does that end up in here too?
Yeah, it will, because it will be registered, so it will end up, and there will be just data.
Essentially, this plugin just does a database query somehow to figure out what the actual data is before it's passed to the front end.
Yeah, because at some point every block has to be registered. So if it's registered, here it goes, and we can just
all right, dude.
do
In the interest of time, how about we connect this to Hygraph? Because this is GraphQL. Hygraph is a GraphQL CMS. And there is a concept that is called content federation. And that's like GraphQL federation is a thing that has existed for a bit, right? But never in connection to CMSs. So what Hygraph came up with, I guess it's last year, a bit longer ago, mid-2022, I think, is let's actually grab any sort of data that you have elsewhere as an API and connect it to our CMS through content federation. And then Hygraph will make you a GraphQL schema to be able to query that data through Hygraph. Because the beauty is what we want to do with Hygraph is we don't have a front-end SDK at all, right? We don't have like something you have to install from NPM because it's all GraphQL. And so we would basically just be the in-between layer of all these external APIs that you just query Hygraph with GraphQL and you get all this information. And so Maciek, or Magic, because he is, started this project last week without talking to me. He did nothing. He just went in, did it, and it actually, you got it to work from scratch.
Apart from one minor thing, but probably if I would do better thing reading the documentation.
Well, our docs. Oh, thank you for that little. Wait, let me see. Where is this?
No, it's more on my end that I forgot to read.
Well, developers and docs, we all know how this goes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we have lovely Romina, hopefully in the chat here. I'm not sure she is, but she's writing a lot of these docs, and it helps a lot. So so we're going to make a new project now. And let's actually connect whatever you have in WordPress to this Hygraph project. Then we go into the playground, and after that, I'll go on my screen and we'll actually code it.
Okay, so
Brian said they were in a meeting, but they're out now. All right, so it's your show. You know Hygraph. So, can you zoom in a little bit and then show us everything?
Oh yeah, of course. We are here. Okay. So I just created a new project.
Exactly.
And the thing that we have to do is to connect. No, it was first the schema.
Exactly.
First the schema. So we have this thing called remote sources, and truly this is really amazing. So let's call it WordPress. Prefix WordPress, and we'll use GraphQL. Now we have to get the base URL that, of course, I don't remember, but we have it here. So let me copy this link. Where is it? It's here. Okay, we have this one, and I think that's it. We don't need anything more, right? Yeah. So let's add.
I'm saying nothing, but yes. Oh wait, there's something there. Something went wrong. No.
The fun part is that I also had a problem with this once.
Interesting.
But it was gone. Let me just do another.
Oh, this is very interesting.
This is very interesting. And I remember that something really, which is funny because I have a project in which I can connect it.
Would it be maybe maybe remove the prefix? Or no, or call it WP or something? And then enable debug, perhaps?
Oh, it has to start with a capital letter.
Oh.
Enable debugging. Okay, let's try. Very funny. Maybe that I will remove this one.
Okay, but it doesn't even tell us what's wrong.
The good news is I have a project in which it will work.
We're lucky we actually tested this before, but
and remember that a few minutes without the show, hey, maybe I will just delete that.
Luckily it did not delete that project. But okay,
so
anybody from the product team is online, this happened, and now we will just go back to our other project that works perfectly.
Okay, so I
You
think,
just
oh no,
click
this is
click
just,
back on the
yeah. Okay,
yeah
this
yeah
was
just
this
click,
one.
yeah
Okay.
that one is the one that works. Okay, let's
Okay,
just
so
show that schema again.
it was in the schema, and
Exactly.
we have it here.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what is different of what you let's just click on it for a sec.
Let me click on it, but
So it
it
seems
also has
it's
debugging.
identical.
Yeah, and they differ
Very.
in nothing. Very weird. Okay, so let me remove this one because we will be
Let's
recreating
go there
this.
in a sec, and then we can also just. So maybe I can start by explaining the ways we can actually query external systems, right? So, of course, what you could do is make a schema in Hygraph just like a post in WordPress. It's a CMS. You can add fields, whatever you want, and then you can just add a GraphQL field, so you can just connect to that external source through that content model. But the other thing, and that makes it a little easier, is we have something called global queries. So if you can click on that one, yeah, there. So there's the global.
We have this one, so let's remove it for a
Just delete
moment.
it.
So
Yeah,
it,
sure.
so
So
it didn't exist.
for global queries, you can actually add your REST or GraphQL endpoints if you have made them. So let's just add GraphQL here, and just let's call this posts, right? Let's query all the posts.
So you know what? Just so I won't be, I will be sure that
Yeah,
I won't
we're
mistake
now
it.
100% sure what we're querying exactly.
Posts. Okay, it's posts.
So your
It's
source is the GraphQL.
GraphQL. Perfectly, we see all the data, and
So
we will need
and now posts, I guess. Yeah, this one.
posts, and we will need nodes.
So essentially, what Maciek is selecting here is literally this is coming out of WordPress.
Yeah.
Like Hygraph understands the GraphQL schema because we did introspection, to use a fancy word for today. So we just created a global query that now understands Hygraph. WordPress posts. So let's go to our API playground like we did in the other one, and let's see if we can find it.
Let's remove
Let's
this
remove
part,
the stuff,
yeah.
and you might just
How
want to
we
scroll down.
how
There it is.
Okay, and let's say just what?
It's very interesting that it puts some stuff back. We can actually remove that. Hygraph post.
So,
there we go.
Yeah, exactly. And what we will need, because we already have nodes, so we don't have to worry about. So let's just take
Maybe the title and the slug. The slug
and
is a
the slug,
little up,
of
little down.
course.
There it is.
Slug.
Okay, let's see.
And let me just check one more thing. Do we have? Interesting thing. We don't have the editor blocks yet.
Oh, that's interesting.
Probably because so this part works. Probably because it wasn't refreshed in some way.
We can actually do that. You can go back to your
to
schema, click on remote source, and on the right top you have the 3 dots, and you can refetch.
Okay.
I think, like, we were looking at cache right now. I think the worst is happening to us. It might be that your WordPress output is just not working, because if it cannot refresh this one and it cannot add a new one, maybe there's something on the WordPress end that you need to publish or something.
No, it should work in theory, but you know what?
Welcome to real life, everyone.
Exactly. Where everything. Okay, let me just clear our caches. But I don't think it should be.
That's likely not a problem, but you never know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, clearing cache is always. Let me
well, let's try and refetch again. Okay,
it
really is not having fun. Can you try the playground on your WordPress website?
Yeah, of course. It was like CMS. Yeah, it ran for sure. Wait a second.
Yeah, actually, here, Brian is right. The hardest problems in dev, naming and cache invalidation.
And DNSs. DNSs are
yeah,
all,
sure.
Yeah, DNS is another. Okay, log. Everything works
seems to kind of just work. This is strange. Oh, what about the settings of the GraphQL?
Let's check.
Is there something here?
Enable batch queries, not restricted, not enabled limiting, IDE, of
It all
course.
looks good to me. Maybe hit save one more time.
Enable public introspection. Let me enable this for a moment.
This we definitely need that.
Yeah, this one. But okay, let's see if this.
I think
this
that's
will
probably
be.
what it. That's probably,
Probably
it.
this was it. Probably when
I'm
I
assuming
at
that
some
was it.
point. Yeah. We got it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes. Okay. Perfection.
Okay.
Okay. So we got
We might
this
want to hard
one.
refresh this page to see if it actually finds this content now,
Now let's.
just to be safe. I love how this always takes slightly longer than we want it to be.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we do have content.
We do have content, but
And
that's not
what
it.
did we look for again?
If it was editor blocks or editor content.
It doesn't look like it's there, dude.
Yeah. Oh, this is not. Let me just to make sure. Let me fetch the schema once again. Okay, I don't have to
Might
save
be that
it.
plugin somehow that does something there.
Could not apply it.
So there's some stuff going on here. Can you try adding it? Oh, interesting.
Wait a second. It's like because if I go here,
okay. So how about let's remove the global query and set it up again, because it has some issues with updating the schema, it seems.
True. So let's remove the remote source, right?
Oh, look, Brian is saying there's actually a refreshing the introspection as well. Let's remove the remote source and we do it again, but maybe not the whole source, but just the query. Just the query.
Okay, so let's start with this. Yeah, good
idea. Let's redo this one.
Yeah. Okay, so GraphQL again.
Brian, we actually clicked that a few times already, and it actually started working.
Okay, WP Hygraph, perfect. What do we wanted? We wanted post.
No, all the posts, right?
Posts. Right.
Yeah.
It's so similar. Wait a second.
Then nodes.
Let me just check. Nodes.
Yeah, exactly. And then everything, essentially.
And look, it's not here.
Oh, it's not there, even in the introspection. That's very interesting. Oh, how about you might want to cancel this here and now refresh the introspection and then try to make a schema. Maybe it couldn't do it because it already had a schema connected somehow.
Maybe. So let's try again.
Yeah, go to the remote source and actually refresh.
Oh, now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because it has sounds. It has a lot of sounds.
Well, it's still refreshing, you see?
Okay.
Now it actually did it. I think now it's working.
Okay, so again, query.
There we go.
Oh no, sorry. Let me refresh it.
You know what?
Force, yeah.
This is one of those one-time things you have to do, and after this, everything is happy. But you never know.
Oh, there is a cache.
There's a cache TTL for our CDN Edge always.
Just let's make sure it's shorter.
Exactly. Just make that 10 seconds.
Whatever. Okay. And again.
Back to post.
You know what? Let me just check post for a second. I know that it's not.
Oh, just to see if the thing is there.
Okay,
there it is.
Look. Okay, it's here. So I think it
has it too. That might be our issue.
It's here.
Oh,
it works. Success.
Oh, TTL must at least be 60 seconds. Otherwise, our servers might not be very happy with you. Oh, no. Let's try again. What?
What now? Partition error, fragment entry point. Where is
this looks exactly correct.
What did I do wrong?
You didn't change anything, right?
Nice.
Still not working?
No. Let's go back here.
This is incredible.
It's
I
really
was thinking we were already coding something at this point. Okay, nodes. Let's add.
fragment entry point cannot condition on composite type JSON.
Did
What
something
does-
change in the? No, but this is strange. We might.
But wait
Do
a
we need
second.
someone from our? Let's see if there's
Let me
someone.
just.
Team.
Okay, got it.
What did you do? Just
I
magic.
removed the nodes. Everything went in, not just the nodes. Everything.
Let's see if we can just query inside nodes now. That should be.
Okay.
Okay, let's remove this. It doesn't exist anymore.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because how did I name it? WP GraphQL. Perfectly. Nodes.
Okay, here we go into nodes, and then
yeah, we have. Something. You see it?
Yes.
It's coming
Okay.
back. Okay. We have nodes, and we want that. I remember the slug, the title,
And now,
and of course the editor blocks.
and now we can choose all the magic.
And yeah, we have all of them. So let's say we are just interested in what do we have here? We have the
Let's just
slug.
start with the name, perhaps, and then see.
We have the name exactly because it will be useful.
Let's do the rendered HTML for now, just to see the HTML.
Okay, if it works, yeah.
If it works,
see.
because I see another error. Oh, it's working, even though we
It
have an error.
is. It's alive. You see the record
Nice.
free form. It's nice.
Nice.
Whew.
All right, dude. How about in the interest of time, we have like 14 minutes left.
Okay.
This query is working, and
It is.
it's all good. So what? How about? Well, okay, maybe we can ask the audience. We have like 60 people watching us. What do? We go to my screen. We code a
Okay.
Nuxt project from scratch, connecting to this, and therefore also WordPress, and then showing something. Or do we go deeper and make the perfect query? Who wants to do what? Because Maciek, you also had something where you wanted to maybe query the configuration and stuff, right?
Yeah, so we can go both ways. It's
Yeah.
up to you. Oh, now I see that Joel is here with me. I'm
Exactly.
really happy to
Put him on the screen. What's up, dude? So, well, originally our plan was to show something with code as well, because what I'm wondering is if folks in here do people know how to use GraphQL? Have you ever had to do with things like that? So, what do you think? Shall I just grab a new Nuxt and actually connect to this quickly so we can see?
I mean,
this
because it's a question. Did you did it before during some other streams? Connecting GraphQL with Nuxt.
Oh, we have, yes, of course. This is kind of the thing we do quite often.
So yeah, let's dive deeper. Let's dive deeper.
Okay, sure. We're good because we
Yeah.
do have lots of videos and documentation on how to actually connect to GraphQL and see this all on your page.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Okay, let's make
so-
the
so-
perfect query. I'm happy.
So let's go a bit deeper because
Yeah.
we have this one, and that's great because we have posts, but posts are not the only thing we can have in WordPress, right? So let's go back, and what if we would like to have a custom settings page? Because let's start
Exactly.
with this one because
Sure.
it will be quite cool. So. I already installed the Advanced Custom Fields plugin. So we are going to create a new options page, and then we're going to make it available through GraphQL. So,
So Advanced Custom Fields is yet another plugin to make different things in WordPress, or?
Yes, it's one of the most iconic plugins that kind of helps you model the content used in WordPress, and I mean it's getting kind of out of hand because I am really not working at WP Engine. I'm not.
You just like them a lot, just like Brian here.
And as you can see, almost everything is done by WP Engine. Okay, so we have this very simple. And you can see already we have it here, Hygraph site, perfect. Now we are going to add some fields to this. So let's say what we want to have a slogan. just a field like this. So we already have.
This
and we
basically
have to-
allows you to model any type of thing you want
Exactly,
in a single
exactly.
database table, I guess.
So let's
Oh,
call
you
it
can even make
setting.
groups. Nice.
Yes. Let's add a new field. What else do we want?
Can I do a logo with an image upload, or is that too much to ask?
Of course.
Of course. It's WordPress.
I just have
Everything
to.
is possible.
I just have to click one, and let's call it a logo. Perfect. And do you want to have an image URL? Yeah, probably an image
Yeah,
URL.
that's sure. That's fine.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so that's it. And now, show this field group if, and we need the option page equals Hygraph site. And that's perfect. But at this moment, it won't show up in our GraphQL.
Exactly.
But let's go into plugins.
Of course.
There is this amazing plugin.
There's a theme here.
There is this amazing plugin called GraphQL for ACF. And guess who created it? Of course, WP Engine. Again.
Oh, yeah. Your favorite company.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, their work when it comes to GraphQL is so truly amazing.
Awesome.
So let's go back into our field groups. We have this settings group. And now we see GraphQL.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to show it in GraphQL as, let's kind of call it Hygraph settings. Let's save it here, but that's not all because, wait a second, I thought I pressed it. Okay, now it's okay. Now let's go to once again into options pages. Oh, yeah. Okay, now it should be okay. And let's go edit here. Advanced configuration. No. Oh, that's why it's, let's go here to GraphQL, showing GraphQL, so the page is visible. Okay, perfect.
Here we go.
Now we have everything. And now if we'll go back into the IDE, and let's look at the query composer, how I called it? Oh, the Hygraph site.
There it is. That's very awesome.
And we can already see the settings, and you can have the logo. I don't know what, not cursor. We just need the.
Whoa, there's so many.
Yeah, it's yes, because image is a post. So
of course, everything is a post.
So you see this part, media item URL and all those things. So probably this will be.
This is for now good.
Or your answers. So we have quite a few of them. We can select even
that's
size
pretty cool.
Or the source. Okay, and we wanted the slogan, right? So let's we don't care.
Yeah,
about
let's remove this for now. Yeah.
And let's run it.
Nice.
Okay, no, the logo is
because we haven't uploaded the logo.
We didn't, so let's go. Yeah, Hygraph is cool. Yeah, because I was playing around with this earlier, so let's first image.
Any image of a cat you have will do. Or this.
I have this angry dude generated. Yeah, and
there must be an AI plugin for WordPress to generate angry dudes.
There is. It's called Berta AI. It will generate angry. It will. I mean, really, there is a plugin for everything. Oh, and you see.
There it is.
An angry man yelling at his computer.
It is. That is very true. And there's still a little. Oh, there's some debug stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we can. So let's enable it just so you can see what you can. Where is this? Where is this? Where is this?
Everything is opposed.
Now I'm getting blind.
What are you looking for?
Oh yes, this debug.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool to have extra debug information.
Yeah, it's always pretty.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, at Hygraph, we're looking into for the future also to like if your query is like crazy, like 1,500 lines, we might tell you, hey, this is a little over the threshold of what is smart. Maybe cut it up, and like having this kind of stuff is super nice with that.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we have this one, and
I would say let's run this as another global query in Hygraph now.
This Hygraph I called it Hygraph site.
Yes.
Why? Hygraph site.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we might need to
So-
refresh the introspection because you added a
Oh my.
completely new thing, but I'm not sure if that's needed, but I assume.
Okay. So let's go back to schema.
Let's try
Here.
and just refresh it.
Okay.
Refreshing.
Refreshing.
Oh.
Yes.
Noise.
Okay.
Okay, let's make
Noise.
another global query. We can just go to query and then add
First, oh yeah, let's
and then add another GraphQL field. And just call this Hygraph site, maybe.
Hygraph site. Okay. Okay.
Now we have to find Hygraph site in here. There it is.
Just like this? Weird.
Did that just work?
Yeah, it's
Maybe
okay.
this is
So
like all these fields are cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because we will need all of them.
Exactly.
Okay, and now
if
we go here, and okay, let's leave this part because why
well,
not?
we can just we just go a bit. If you go up, you can find it. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, let's see. Have the slogan, the logo, and we
Everything
want it was media item URL.
Nice. So essentially, what this is now showing you is that you can query WordPress through Hygraph, and this is now cached on the CDN edge. So let's say you now build a website that has like 1 million visitors. That is now going to be hitting Hygraph rather than WordPress, unless of course your TTL is like 60 seconds, so it might refresh it over time. But I'm pretty sure the Hygraph CDN is a lot more solid than WordPress in the sense of, I'm not saying the CDN is better because it's likely the same. In WordPress, you have to do MySQL queries and do a whole bunch of things and start up your whole PHP stack to even get any data. Well, if you don't have to hit that at all, you can do it in Hygraph. And of course, maybe we can keep the last few minutes to chat about why would you use this? Like why at all? Because you had some ideas there, right, Maciek?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, and I will start with this thought before trying. Seriously, think if you need a headless approach, because
Sure,
I would say 80%. No, you don't. I mean, if you are a developer, probably you want to still because you want to play around with new shiny toys. Then that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But from more of this, let's look at this enterprise, large company point of view. This is a really, especially like this. Imagine you have a lot of websites, and every website brings something into the general data stream.
Yeah.
So having something like Hygraph as this hub for all the data, it's an amazing place. You don't have to kind of even look where is it. You know where is it.
It's all in this
Hygraph. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's
imagine you have 5 WordPresses to do different things, because people probably do that for, I don't know, if you have scale, you might need different WordPresses, right? And
I can for me the best example are for the newspapers.
Okay.
When each team has its separate WordPress, everything lands in this hub, and then it is showed on your newspaper front page. Every section goes from a different WordPress.
And for that, Hygraph is, of course, works super well. And then also on your front end, you can do whatever you want, because then that newspaper source of 5 different WordPresses, maybe plus even some product PIM system, and maybe some images database from another place, or whatever you want on another CMS, that can then all go, and then you can do whatever you want with that. So it can go to your iPhone app and show it in a different way. If you do all these like things we did to make the data actual data rather than HTML, you can do lots of things with that. And the future is a lot brighter. And we are not here saying don't use WordPress. But on the other hand, I don't know, how can we say this the right way? Because for me, like when we get prospects in on the phone and say, hey, we kind of don't like our WordPress, to me, we can show them this and say, hey, this can coexist really well. and your editors likely use WordPress and understand it. So why
Exactly.
just keep using it, and then your new stuff you build on a new system, and then in a year you can decide, you know what, we'll grab everything from WordPress and put it in Hygraph, and then we ditch WordPress. But why not keep using it? Like there's
Yeah,
all these, you get freedom. This is what I
I
like
mean,
about
Brian mentioned here in the comments, the
it.
last
Let me
one.
put it on.
Yeah, let your editor works like where they like, and combine everything where your devs want to work.
Yeah,
And
100%.
that's one of the most important thoughts that every developer who has this tingling feeling to change the CMS for the whole team should think about first. Because
Yeah.
the truth is, we as developers, we work with the CMS code, but we rarely go inside of it and use it every day.
Yeah. We don't know
I
how
mean,
painful it feels sometimes, right?
yeah, I mean, I'm I was very often surprised as a person who really knows WordPress really good. I mean, I attend conferences, I
Yeah.
was a speaker, like everything, core contributor, everything what you can imagine
Yeah.
related to WordPress. And still, when I see how people work with it, I'm amazed that you can do some things they do. And
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, so you can do it in WordPress? How do you know? I just discovered it. But how long are you using it? I don't know, a few months. And I'm like, I have like many years experience and I don't have a clue this feature existed. So
Yeah, and like this is the one thing a lot of developers always forget is that content editors and marketers and all these folks inside, using their system, they have a very high threshold for pain. We never really know how they feel, and if the setup is weird or whatever. We don't know. And so developers might sometimes just choose something that they like, and suddenly your editors are, it's horrible for them. But they don't really
yeah.
tell you because their threshold for pain is so high. And so,
Or they
but
just have noted that those steps, how to proceed, and they see it as normal. And when
oh,
you
that's
see
even
how they
worse.
and when you look at it, you see, oh God, what have we done? Why are they doing this? Yeah.
Exactly. And so this is always this battle between developers and content editors. And so if you can combine the two and have people work where they like it, this is a super flexible solution. And
Yeah.
for the future, it's so flexible, in fact, that you can kind of switch things out easily if you wanted to. Because what we've also learned over the years is that people choose and they kind of stick with something.
Yeah.
So marketing this like you can now switch out things easily might not be the best one. But if you wanted to, if you wanted to do a redesign in 3 years, then suddenly you have this freedom of something that's headless and you're not connected to whatever HTML was spit out of Gutenberg. And now suddenly you don't want a figure around your image,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Then this is a
Exactly.
super freeing experience. Anyways, we are at 1 hour and 3 minutes. So only 3 minutes out of our time box. Not bad.
Not bad,
Very good.
especially that there were some troubles among the way, but
This is supposed to be, I think this just happens to people who learn in public because I hadn't
yeah.
seen how WordPress works with GraphQL. You showed me on the stream. And the fact that this actually worked within this hour, plus us yapping about it all the time, shows you that it's not that hard to do. It's
No,
actually
it's
quite
not.
doable. And also, all this Hygraph thing that you just saw, this is free. It's a free account. You can do all this stuff without
Mhm.
paying. And you can scale it up quite a lot. Oh man, I naturally went into my CTAs. How about that? You can actually go to hygraph.com and sign up and for the app for free. And if you like all this stuff that you saw us do, you can actually come in Slack and go to slack.hygraph.com and actually ask your questions and show the stuff you've done. And probably don't ask us your WordPress questions. Go to Maciek for those because I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much. What are your final words for our viewers today?
I would always say, especially for people who think that WordPress is this horrible, horrible CMS that no one should use again, give it a try. Give it a try. It's far from being that bad as some are saying about this.
Okay, that's good
Uh,
to know.
it, it's
But
it's because really we WordPress have a reputation, and it's far from true. And this is I always encourage, like, really give it a try. Give it a try. Just fresh head.
I think
Don't
that's a
listen
good
to
one
others.
because for me personally, I have this history with it, where I used to work with like this templating system in PHP, and do we show echo or not, like that old time, right? Where how do you actually PHP something to make it work? And that was just painful for my experience. But that doesn't mean that now it's good or bad. It's probably
Yeah.
fine. If 40%
I
of the web is working with it, it's probably
mean,
pretty good.
the thing is, and this is quite a very interesting topic that you mentioned, that the templating. Uh, the fact that I chose WordPress many years ago was
Yeah.
because it didn't have a templating engine.
Oh,
Why?
it's actually
Be-
not templating, it's just PHP, right?
exactly,
Yeah,
and
that's the
because
difference.
because back then there was Smarty already, and
Oh, I
other
remember Smarty. We implemented that in our own CMS when I worked at an agency.
exactly,
It
and
was actually
for
slow
for
as heck. Remember that? It was slow.
yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't the quickest one. But I remember that back then I was one of those people from PHP is a templating language. There was this
It kind of
faction.
is, isn't it?
It, I mean, it can, but later on, it took me a few years. I kind of learned about Twig and Blade, and now I'm a faction of WordPress. WordPress. PHP is not a templating engine. Never. No, don't
Well,
do it to yourself.
for some of the people in this stream who are watching might know the old days of like .NET where you had code behinds, where you have a code behind some sort of a template and you would always use the code behind and nobody would ever understand, and it's just horrible. And that's what you see in lots of these plugins with WordPress, where everybody has a different style of coding and it becomes messy as all heck. And this
Yeah.
is my history with it. Maybe that's why I'm so bold. And I've been pained by this. No, it's not because of this. It's about these .NET things.
But look,
Don't
I
worry.
have those beautiful dreadlocks, and I'm from the,
Exactly.
and I'm only remember I'm mostly in PHP. So maybe JS hit you like this.
Maybe maybe JavaScript did this to me. I'm sure it did. Anyways, with that bombshell, this was it for today. Thank you so much, Maciek, for joining us and giving us all this magic. Because if I had just gone in and tried GraphQL from WordPress and I saw this HTML, I would just quit. It's like, no way. But at least there's plugins, all the things. So thank you for that.
I'm really happy to be here, and I really see that Brian is full of great thoughts, especially this one.
Brian is
Yes.
our age, so he has history like us with this stuff, essentially.
Oh God.
Where can people find you online?
I mean, in theory, you can find me also on LinkedIn, but my place to go is always Twitter. It's can I
Put
join
it to me in the
chat?
private chat. I'll put it on the
Yeah, I will. So let me wait a second. It will be.
screen. Let me just
Okay.
grab that and put that on the screen for you while you can read that out for what
Oh,
Brian's saying.
and yeah, and exactly. I totally agree with Brian, because this is also a cool part about Twig. The moment when you learn Twig, you learn that you, at the same time, learned so many other templating languages. I mean,
Yeah.
if we look at how templating looks in JavaScript, yeah, it's quite similar. It's like mustache variable, mustache. That's it.
Isn't that like the mustache JavaScript stuff is basically based on this, right?
If I remember, Python was, if I'm not wrong, Python was first with their implementation, and based on this, all the rest.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, really, for me, it was also very interesting to see how because my wife is also a developer. She's more on the front end side. And I remember that she also hated this part with PHP, with all those echoes and everything.
Yeah, me too.
At the moment we introduced Twig, it turns out that no, it's not a problem anymore.
There you go. I just put your Twitter handle on the screen. And as a last one, yes, we are too, Brian.
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. And we'll see you next week. Cheers.
So yeah, bye.
Bye.